G'day everybody, how you going? My name's Oscar, I'm coming to you from Nippon Motors. Today what I'm going to be showing everybody is a nice and quick and easy simple setup that we use here on our 2015 and onwards Toyota Hiaces. Basically what we're going to be doing today is an OBD cruise control, and like I said, it's nice and quick and simple. I'm going to show you the easy steps that it takes to get it all installed for you today. So the first step is we're going to remove this piece of rubber stripping, which is called a pinch weld. That runs all the way down the inside sill of the car. This is our digital speed reader, which we're going to mount right on the side of the dashboard here. Then we're going to run the wire down the side of the dashboard, and it'll just nice and neatly tuck in behind this pinch weld when we have it reinstalled. So once we've gone all the way down with this wire down towards where the accelerator sits, we're just going to leave it hanging there for a moment, and we're going to get back to that one very soon. And that's where we get to the next step. So where we find the accelerator here, there is a small box that sits at the top, and that's where you'll find this switch here, which is quite simple and easy to remove. All you do is just press this release tab here and slide it straight up. Okay, so the next step that we're going to take is we're going to take our little unit here, and we're going to simply connect the factory plug to our socket that we are going to provide you, and they clip in. As simple as that. And then with the opposite side, there's a male and female side. Now with the male side, what we're going to do is, as you can tell, it's exactly the same as the factory unit, and that just clips directly back into place on that small box above the accelerator. You can feel everything quite easily with your hands. Push it into place and you'll hear a small click, just like that. So now by this stage, you'll probably notice that you have this small white plug which is just hanging. That's perfectly fine. We're going to get back to that very soon. We don't need it just at this stage, but we're going to move on to the next step of the process, which is we're going to be installing the plug and play bypass for the OBD. Now what this does is basically sends all of the information from our cruise control setup into the car's factory computer. Now don't be worried about playing around with any of this, it's perfectly safe. Underneath the car's dash, the factory OBD sits directly here. It's right next to where the car's bonnet release is. You'll feel the OBD plug, and it's held in by two small clips, which you can squeeze together with your pointer finger and your thumb, and that will actually have it released from its factory holder, and you should be able to push it through. And with a little bit of maneuvering, you can bring the OBD plug behind the plastics. Simply squeeze the release tabs together in its factory position, and the OBD plug will remove forward just like that. Plug in the bypass that we give you, squeeze it nice and tight until you feel it click, and you'll notice on the back there that it's clicked into place. With the new OBD plug, put it straight back into its original factory position, and it will just simply clip in and stay secure just like that. Okay, by this stage you should notice that you have another plug here which is hanging free. Well, getting back to our first white plug, we're now going to link these two together. So there is another wiring harness which we've provided for you, which has the male side to this plug here. Now simply connect those just like that, push them together until you feel them click. That one's installed. To keep everything nice and neat, run all of your wiring behind these factory plastics on the dash. We're going to run them through the back, and in the end that's going to leave a nice clean finish. And this plug here, this is the male plug, this is your female plug. We're going to push these two together. You're going to push them together nice and tight, and you're going to hear it click into place just like that. So once you've installed your cruise control toggle, simply reinstall the steering column shroud back into its original position, and then we're ready to move on to the next step. Now once everything's been reinstalled, you'll find that you've got these two main plugs, and all they need to do is to be installed into the cruise control power box. And it's pretty simple. You have one large plug, one small plug, simply install, push forward until you feel them clip, and they're secured into place. Heading all the way back, if you can remember, back to the very first step from our Speedo tacho. This plug here will connect into this socket just here, which is connected to this main loom here. You'll find that's its partner. push those in together, nice and tight until you feel them clip. And then the final piece of the puzzle, this is actually gonna be what sets our cruise control setting. So it's vital that we only use that plug one time. That's simply to do the setting on the cruise control, and once the setting has been complete, then we're going to disconnect it and we're going to tuck it away safely, and it's not to be reinstalled again. Okay guys, so now we come to the most important part of the entire cruise control install, and that is now doing the setting. So what we need to do is we need to turn on the car onto accessories, and do not turn the ignition on just yet. So we're going to go ahead and switch on accessories. You'll see that the tacho reads -10. That means that we're ready to start. So we need to push our cruise control toggle forward. You'll hear a beep and it will say -1. Foot flat to the floor on the accelerator for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. Then push the toggle forward. It'll read -2. Take your foot off the accelerator and now foot flat to the floor with the brake for another 4 seconds. Then push the cruise control toggle forward a 3rd time. We need to push it again a 4th time. That's very important, don't forget. And it will read -1 again. We're now going to go ahead and start the car. We're going to turn on the ignition. Now this is the most critical thing to do, is we need to drive the car and reach the speed of 40 kilometers. Okay, it's crucial for the installation process that we need to reach the speed of 40 kilometers. Once you've reached 40 kilometers, push the cruise control toggle forwards one last time, and that will calibrate the cluster. It'll calibrate the speed on the cluster to the cruise control tachometer. They will sync up and they will read the exact same speed. Once you've successfully calibrated your cruise control, simply disconnect your settings plug and tuck it away in a safe position. All right guys, so now that we've completed the full installation of our cruise control, you can safely tuck away all your wiring, put all the plastics all back together, and this bad boy is ready to hit the streets and you're going to be cruising like the best of them. Thanks heaps.